Welcome to the Fort Myers Beach Good Neighbor Podcast Health and Wellness Series, brought to you by Renew You, Natural Health and Beauty, where we make wellness feel possible and turn everyday choices into stronger living. Each episode brings you uplifting conversations, local resources, and practical tips to help you look better, feel stronger, be emotionally balanced, and more connected to the community around you. So take a breath and settle in, because feeling better starts right where you are.
Welcome, good neighbors, to our new series where we share insights on health, beauty, and wellness. And thank you to our sponsor, Renew You Health and Beauty out of Naples, for allowing us to bring this to you. And today we have Dr. Greet, who has a rich background in the health and beauty industry. And today we're going to start off by touching on the longevity hype versus facts, correct?
Yes, that's what we start out with today.
When people say longevity, what are they usually actually trying to buy? Is it more years, more energy, disease avoidance, looking younger? What are they trying to achieve?
Well, here at Renew You, we talk about longevity, but what we really mean is actually a healthy lifespan. Longevity, everybody has a lifespan. We can maybe add a few years, but the most important thing is that we are having a healthy life until we end our lifespan. So that is what we are focused on. It's really a healthy lifespan, not longevity. And that means that as we get older, that we are still in very good condition to play or have activities with our grandkids, being able to go on the floor, play with them, getting up, being healthy. That's the key thing, not just expanding the lifespan and being in a wheelchair the last 10 years of your life.
Yeah, you want to be active, right? You want to be active.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So what's the biggest misconception you see in the longevity space right now?
I think when people talk about longevity, they think it's a quick fix. It's really not a quick fix. There is nothing that can be a quick fix with no negative influences. So it's not one injection, not one test we can do. It's a combination of getting something like a personalized data and report for everybody different to extend or to have a healthy lifespan.
Very good. So when we're talking and people are kind of doing research on longevity, what's important to focus on? I mean, there's a lot of studies out there, animals versus humans, other documents and things. What should they focus on?
I think, when people are looking, for longevity, solving things.
Yep.
Or getting into longevity, I think data is very important. There is a lot of studies that are done with mice, but that's, their biology is totally different. They live much shorter. It's the environment. So when we go to people, there might be no real good data long-term out there. So we really have to be careful what we take for what's right and what's wrong, and really investigate in what is out there data-wise long-term. It's not a quick fix. We are non-comparable with mice or any animal. So when we look at data, it needs to be randomized, data that has value.
And speaking of data, are there some buzzwords out there that it's marketing what it is, but are there certain buzzwords that we are probably abused maybe by certain
I think buzzwords that we can find very often is like anti-aging. We are gonna age. There is nothing that's out there as anti-aging. And then the other thing is like age reversal. The other buzzword might be cellular. We hear that a lot. And then detox. It's all about detox. Detox can be, in some ways very unhealthy. And anti-inflammatory is also one of the buzzwords, but everything needs to be used in the right context.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, over misstating. So
Mhm.
biological age tests, are they useful? Are they expensive horoscopes to kind of predict in the future? When do they help and when do they mislead?
Well, I think they can be helpful for tracking some trends that are out there over time, but they have to be transparent, very clear. They shouldn't be treated as a diagnosis. Uh, many many are better as predicting health risk than actually lifespan or healthy lifespan.
So there's
Yeah.
a lot of hype on supplements as well too. I mean, there's a lot of different things out there. Are there some that are good, some that are bad, some we should avoid?
Mhm. So we go again to, there is evidence for some supplements. Number one, when I talk about supplements in general, we need to have a health test done, a blood test, and see what we are lacking. We're not just taking a supplement here and a supplement there. But if we talk about some supplements that have a stronger evidence of being good, we might talk about omega-3s, what are pretty good in specific populations, vitamin Ds, creatine for muscle and cognitive support. Those supplements have strong evidence, data wise. Now, if we see somebody or we hear somebody talking about NAD boosters, the NMN, and anti-aging stacks, and there is that's a hype. There is not enough evidence over those supplements to really say, hey, they're gonna help me, they're gonna work. So
Yeah, it's kind of like back in the day with the food, we all fat free or all
yes,
this. It's just a word. They've
yeah,
put other things
hmm,
into it to cover that, but
yes,
yeah.
uh-huh.
So
So
is there a go ahead. Go
cool.
ahead.
So anything you really want to do, and you talk about healthy lifespan when we use the word longevity,
Mhm.
is data based, and you have to have enough data and evidence and good research that is proven. Otherwise, you don't know where this is going. Today it might be good, but if we have long-term data, it might have been not so good. So I would start always first what is already proven instead of going to all these hypes, the exosomes, all that stuff. Where is it coming from? So you need to also know what the source is. So that is, I think, a lot of misconception that's out there because people are looking on Instagram or platforms and they hear that over and over. So when you hear
Yep.
it over and over, it makes you think it's good, but it might
Yep.
be not so good.
And like you said, it might be good in the short term, but long term, it's not good for you. So
Yes. Yeah.
So, what's the difference between, and I think you touched on this a little bit earlier, but extending your lifespan versus extending your health span? I mean, big difference there, right?
Big difference there. Lifespan, we can maybe extend your lifespan. You might be sick and we put you on an IV and we might extend your life for on an IV, whatever, for, five
But
years
who
or
wants to live
as
like
long
that,
as
right?
your heart keeps ticking. But the biggest thing is, we're talking about functional health, and that is a healthy lifespan. So if we would do some testing, functional health, like how many pounds can you take from your grocery store to your car? Can you get on steps? Can you get easy out of a chair? Can you open a jar? So we talk more about functional health. What is then the healthy lifespan? Now, our lifespan, we can extend that, but it might not be so good to extend it if we are not healthy.
Absolutely. Yeah, if
That's
you
the
can't
big
get around
difference.
and do anything and be active, it's why,
Yes,
what's the point behind that?
that's
I
the
get it.
point.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah.
So if someone wants the highest ROI for their longevity, what are your top three behaviors they should probably focus on?
If somebody would ask me the question, what's important?
Yeah, so with the
Mhm.
highest ROI, is it for longevity? Is it sleep? Is
Mhm.
it movement, nutrition?
Nutrition is important, but I would say exercising, strength training is very important. We need muscle to, have a healthy lifespan. High quality of sleep, what is very easy to do, what's easy to work on. We have a certain circadian, so when the sun goes down, we really should go to bed. We should have 8-9 hours of sleep, and when the sun comes up, we should really wake up. But we need quite a bit of hours of quality sleep. And then, so first, strength, exercises, especially strength training, some cardio, then our sleep, and then also nutrition, because everybody's like, well, I'm overweight because my genes, I inherited that. Our genes are only responsible for 20% of who we are today. And the other 80% is really what you eat and your lifestyle. So we can change that. So we can really reprogram our DNAs there, but we can reprogram the software around it, the cellular behavior. So, and that will give us, there's things that we can do that are very easy, so.
Is there one habit that, I'm going to say maybe people chase for, optimizing their health that maybe is overhyped or over, that maybe they shouldn't be focusing on, but it's been over marketed. So they think, hey, I'm doing it. I'm healthy. What are you talking about?
Mhm. Well, I think a lot of people go for supplements. Okay, like we said, there's big hypes out there for NAD and NMN and other stuff. Uh, so I think really before the supplements, try to fix your sleep. Protein intake is very important. There is a lot that we can do that really doesn't cost anything, instead of just like picking out of nowhere the supplements and hope that it's going to fix us. Like, even people go and have IVs done, so like, okay, it's like supplements. Okay, now eat healthy first, do good blood work, have a functional physician, medicine doctor look at it deeper than traditional medicine, and see what you're lacking after you eat good, sleep good, exercise good, and then we maybe might not need anything.
That's
Plus,
it. Yeah,
also,
like,
not every supplement is gets absorbed by your body. So if we don't look at the quality where they're made and how they're made, it might do nothing, and you just take it. It's money in the mouth and money back through the
yep.
toilet. So
And
that's what it is.
and correct me if I'm wrong, but there's some supplements that really depends on what else you're taking as well too, because it could
It might be
affect.
harmful. Yes.
Yep,
Hmm.
exactly.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
so I think you touched on this just a little bit prior, but how do genetics versus lifestyle stack up against longevity in everyday people?
Well, as I said, genetics play only a small role. When people use that, it's as an excuse. Well, my genetics, my mother or my father was overweight, so I'm the same way. I'm built this way. And you can sometimes even see just with twins, they have the same identical twins,
Yep.
the same genetics, and one twin can be like Miss Universe, healthy, working out, do everything, and the other one might be 200 pounds overweight. Lifestyle. It's
Yep.
all about lifestyle. So we cannot blame it on our genetics. We have to, if we want to have a healthy life, a healthy lifespan, we have to work out, we have to eat healthy, we have to sleep, we have, the nutrition. It's just a lifestyle. It's a
Yeah.
lifestyle change if you want to have a healthy life.
And it's interesting that you bring that up because I am a twin myself. So I have a
Hmm.
twin brother, and
Yeah.
he's a little bit skinnier than I am. I'm kind of skinny and kind of in shape per se, but I think he takes it to the extreme the other way, where
What
he
sometimes,
figures
yeah. Hmm.
he figures if
Hmm.
I don't eat, well, I'm not going to gain weight. Well, not eating isn't the healthiest thing either. You've got to
No.
fuel your
Yeah.
body with the energy. Yep.
Yes, yes. Not eating, that is a big issue. I have a lot of the fasting right now, and
Yep.
people are not eating for like, a certain amount of time.
Yep.
In some cases, it is healthy when you do it, when you are healthy to begin with. But
Yep.
if you are diabetic or you have other issues going on, you should not do any fasting. So normally we need our 3 meals. We need some time in between. So to give our system a break. And we need the protein, and we need some carbs,
Yep.
and we need our fruits and vegetables. So, that's what we need. We cannot just starve ourselves forever, because we don't want to have our blood sugar going up and down and spiking. That's not good either. We need to kind of have our blood sugar as low as possible, and at least as possible spikes.
Yeah, and a nice, like you had mentioned, a nice balance, because there's certain people
Balance.
that cut out certain, well, I'm not going to eat this, I'm not going to eat
Mm-hmm.
that. Well, that's not good
Mm-hmm.
either. Nice balance is where it should be. Portions and
Yes.
balance. That's what it should be
Yeah.
all about,
And then
right?
also, even after we eat, normally our glucose level goes down after a meal. If we go out for a nice walk, what's real easy to do, again, it doesn't cost anything. You walk around the block, you also control more your glucose level. What is important to keep that under control. So there's easy things. It doesn't have to be expensive.
Yep. And speaking about, time as well too, that's important. So if somebody has, say, 10 minutes a day, what should they focus on?
Well, I would say exercises. I would say 5 minutes of resistance training, and 5 minutes of like a brisk walk, like, like cardio, that you really raise your heart rate. And then, what you eat has nothing to do with time. Prioritize protein, and then consistency over intensity. So 5 minutes weight training, 5 minutes some cardio. Those are the
And
10 minutes that are the most important thing to start with.
absolutely. Yep. Having again, balance, and it doesn't need to take an hour a day. 10 minutes a day
No.
can help and go a long way.
Mm-hmm.
So,
No.
so is there, I don't want to say a sane way to experiment with some of this stuff without getting scammed or overwhelmed? Maybe one change at a time.
Yes. Yeah. That was exactly what I am going to say. If you really see something that you think, okay, this might work for me, don't take 10 times or 5, whatever. Do one
More is
change.
better, right? It's not.
Yeah, not in that way. I would start with one change, and also something that is measurable, that you can say, I can measure this really. So, and also set a defined timing. If you don't see anything over 6 months, it's probably doing nothing, or you don't feel anything, So avoid multiple interventions. Always start with one. Be very clear.
Yep, great advice. And speaking along being careful, what trends currently with longevity are you most worried about from a safety standpoint?
I think there is a lot of, I would say, black market sourcing. We don't know where things are coming from, and also healthy individuals that are taking some immunosuppressive drugs, anti-inflammatories, but they should not really take that. Like also steroids, for building muscles. I think some peptides have long-term data, what are very good or could help some individuals. But if they don't have a long-term data, I wouldn't really take high doses of that at all. And then, in clinics, when they start selling very expensive protocols and they're not without transparency, I would not walk into that. I think, the person that you talk to needs to have the experience, needs to have the data, and have the best interest of you, instead of just, selling something very expensive.
Yeah, just because you read it, you hear it, you say it, it doesn't mean it's true. Do your
Yeah, we
research,
don't
like
want
anything.
hypes, because yes, yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so what should listeners stop doing after today to make themselves better?
Well, I think they should stop, just start buying supplements, after they see something on Instagram or on the platforms or Facebook. First, do your homework. And I would probably never take supplements without really going to my physician, functional medicine physician, take a good blood test, have, have a DEXA scan, have your hormones tested, have your thyroid tested. A good base to start with, and go from there. Just don't pick off of the internet. Those are just ads, and some are very good in tricking your brain, and it might be more harmful. So go to the person you trust, have a blood test done, have a base data to start with, and if you're lacking something, follow their direction.
Because like you had mentioned, like anything health wise, it's on a per person basis. Just because it works for you doesn't mean it works for me. It's it's not a one fit all one shop stop kind of thing. So what should our listeners start doing this week to help increase their longevity?
Well, I think they should start exercising. Everybody who is not exercising should start weightlifting 3 times a week, and really put a good weight on it, that it's an exercise. If I see somebody doing ups and down with a light weight in the gym, that's not going to do anything. So you really have to overload your muscles, and I would say do that 3 times a week. And then do your cardio, and that can be a brisk walk. You can also do a 4-minute bring your heart rate up, and then 4 minutes rest, or work your way little bit by little bit up to those 4 minutes to get your cardio in. And it doesn't have to be hours. It can be 20 minutes, it can be 15 minutes a day. So, but exercising, number one, and then intake of protein. Make sure you have enough protein that we can build muscle, because muscle is healthy lifespan.
Yep, all around. So where would our listeners go, without falling into that hype trap we have out there? Obviously, they can come to you to learn a little bit more. How would they do so?
Well, if they come to me, they can just, we actually do free consultations, because we want to have it available for everybody. And, we make a plan. We can also measure your visceral fat. We have the in-body scale. Because I think if there's a lot of fat around your organs, that might diminish your healthy lifespan. So we will do some testing here at the office. But first, the consultation, what is free, we lay everything out here, very clear. It's available for everything. And then we make your personal plan. We will advise you to do which exercises, what exercises. We have a nutritionist on board. We have a functional medicine doctor on board. So we really work as a team after my consultation, that we can help you, but that will be your choice. At least we do the consultation, what's available for everybody, and then it's your choice to go through it or turn a different way. But I think it has to be very clear what is going on with you, and then you start from there.
Absolutely. Dr. Greet, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for this valuable insight. It's been great. Any last words for our listeners today?
Well, I think, it's just get started. Don't postpone, because really our decline at aging starts pretty early in our 30s, 40s. So we really want to start as soon as possible. Don't postpone. Start building your muscles, start building on your health today.
And extend your life in a positive way, right?
In a healthy way.
Yep, that's what it is. Well, thank you very much. We will see you next time on the Health and Wellness series, and I look forward to that. You have a wonderful day. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you for spending this time with the Fort Myers Beach Good Neighbor podcast, Health and Wellness series, brought to you by Renew You, Natural Health and Beauty. If today's episode helped you, share it with a friend and check the show notes for local resources and next steps you can try this week. Until next time, be gentle with yourself, celebrate the small wins, and remember, better days are built one breath, one choice, and one good neighbor at a time. Also, to nominate your favorite health and wellness expert to be on the show, go to FMBGoodNeighbor.com, that's FMBGoodNeighbor.com, or call 239-427-4100. Until next time, remember to Cabo Antillia, Wabo, and keep being a good neighbor.